Did you know that we have actual slaves in Europe? Did you know that more than 100,000 workers are currently enslaved in Italy? Yes, here in Europe. Most of them are paid €3 per hour to work around 11 hours per day, every day, with no contract, no access to hygienic facilities, and nothing that even remotely resembles a human right. Often they're not even paid their wages. They are threatened with death to work for free. They are abused, tortured, and killed. Women are raped and their children are held hostage. They die of fatigue and heat strokes. In our marvelous Italian fields, yes, their body collapses as they're picking up our delicious food. Nationally, there are more than 400,000 workers exploited in agriculture under the mafia system that is called Capralato. Capralato is an illegal mediation system that organizes workers. The caporali, as they're called, are mediators between the employer and the worker, and they illegally receive wages in order to take care, recruit, and transport workers. The take care includes finding them an accommodation, which often ends up just being a slum, an abandoned farm, or even a mattress on the street. Workers employed under this mafia system also have to pay caporali themselves. So these mediators, they receive wages both from employers, both from workers. And workers have to pay for their own accommodation, transportation, and provisions. They have to pay for those if they want a job. Now you're probably wondering, why in the world would anyone accept to work in such conditions? And most of all, why does our food system rely on such system? Today I will try to answer these two questions for you. Let us go back to numbers for a moment. Nationally, there are more than 400,000 workers exploited in agriculture under the mafia system that is called Capralato. 300,000 of them are migrants. 100,000 of them are from Eastern Europe, and the rest are mainly from Africa, sub-Saharan Africa for the most. 100,000 of them, which makes 1/4, work in complete enslaved conditions. It really resembles something you've probably seen in old movies about slavery. These workers are male and female, migrants and Italians. So what do they have in common? They are outcast. They have nothing to do with our socioeconomic system. They are excluded from it. And here lays the strength of this system. 60% of them don't have access to water while working. Now imagine, you are on an Italian beach, it's August, it's 40 degrees, the sun is burning up, and you would love a sip of water. But there is none. You ask around, and you're told to drink from the sewer system nearby, like a pig. Now imagine, you have been working for the past 11 hours, without even making an actual living. Imagine being the backbone of the Italian economy, and especially during the current pandemic, and at the same time being invisible. Today, after all this talk about sustainability, I wonder what's sustainable about this. Who harvests our food? Who picks it? Who takes care of our livestock? It's the workers, but why don't we see them? Do they even get a chance to join our political and social life, or are they just accessories to our privilege and wealth, to our allegedly healthy lifestyle, to our food blogging nights out? Our food system, nationally, but also globally mainly, rely on the cheap and disposable labor force of outcasts, mainly migrants that are willing to accept miserable living conditions in order to survive. Our economic system is supported by people who are denied basic human rights and that are, at the same time, the force behind our wealth. In countries like Italy, where the formal institutions are often weak, international criminal organizations like the mafia system flourish, and they manage to penetrate wherever the state is absent, wherever it fails to protect its citizens. What is crucial to understand here is that all those under the system, and especially those that operate illegally, are, first of all, victims of an institutional vacuum and of structural violence. This is a crucial point, and I apologize if today there is not enough time to elaborate much on this. Now, I would like to tell you the story of Paula Clemente, one of the many women who worked to exhaustion in Italy, who died of exhaustion in Italy. Paula was working the grape fields. She was separating the dried and ugly grapes from the healthy-looking ones to make it look good on our supermarket stands. Together with other workers, she would drive 300 kilometers back and forth from her workplace to her hometown. Their journey would take around 2 hours and a half. She would work 7 hours a day, making a total of 27 euros. Nearly half of that wage, 12 euros to be precise, would go to the mediator, the Caporale, who found her a job. This would leave her with 15 euros per hour for 7 hours worked, which is around 2 euros per hour. She died on the 13th of July 2015 at 49 years old. Although Paula Clemente was lucky enough to be remembered by some of us, she was not lucky enough for her death to stop the oppression and violences against people like her. Despite the law against Capralato that was approved in 2016, a year later her death, the system of oppression is far from being over. In the newspapers at the time, it was told that Paula Clemente died of a natural death. What's the meaning of nature really? Something that has to do with nature. But what's the meaning of that? What's nature really? I mean, her death had something to do with nature, if you think about it. But who would ever describe such death as a natural death? To work and die of exhaustion under 40 degrees burning sun, is it natural? Is it natural to work with broken fingers and ribs and then get killed by the tire of a truck because you asked for a decent pay? Is it natural? To be coerced into exploitation and then be found with the face disfigured by acid because you tried to rebel? Natural can also mean something obvious, something tied to the circumstances. And really, if you think of it, it's not wrong to say that workers' death in agriculture is something obvious. In other words, it is given that workers have to die in order to pick our food. You see, food is so political. It's political how we grow it, how we collect it, how we sell it, how we think of it. For us as consumers, it is essential to buy seasonal and local products, but this is not enough. It is crucial to rethink food in a global context of exploitation and violence, but also of resistance and degrowth. Food should feed, not kill. I'm going to repeat this. Food should feed, not kill. For the system to stop, we must fight against corporate agriculture that forces workers into an inhumane collection of food. To do this, we must, first of all, let everyone know how the employment system works, where our food really comes from. We must let everyone know. If the terms of a fight aren't clear, the results will disperse. We need to collaborate with all interested parties. We need to create a slavery-free certification in Europe and subsidize the companies that are opposing the system every day, the companies that are opposing the mafia infiltrations in agriculture every day. It is necessary to give visibility to the struggles of the workers, of the outcast, of the women, of the people of color who fight every day for this system to change. We must fight along with them so they can obtain the rights for themselves, the rights to a decent job, the right to housing, all the human rights everyone should be born with. From what I've seen, usually TED Talks end with young idealists mind-blowing the public with light and hope. Unfortunately, I'm not here to spread hope, but awareness. I'm here to tell you that nothing will go right if you don't act now. And I am absolutely afraid that you won't. I am afraid you will go numb, that you will fall into your careless routine, and eventually you will start believing that your life is worth more than someone else's. I'm here today to tell you that what you believe in is right, and what is good isn't debatable. What is good, and I'm here, and it is your choice, and it is your duty as well, and it is your right to fight for it. We must all fight alongside with farm workers for them to win. We must use our voices, especially if privileged, as echo chambers for this ugly truth to emerge. We must fight the system because we can change it.